floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Todd. Good morning, everybody. I am Yasha Franklin Hodge, Chair of the Public Improvement Commission, and I call to order the PIC hearing of September 25th, 2025. Mr. Liming, please take the roll call.
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state their name for the record?
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department, please do the same thing.
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department?
Boarding.
Water and Sewer Commission?
Denise Devlin.
Commission for Persons with Disabilities?
Darren Young.
We have no representative from ISD today, but we do have a quorum.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Our first agenda item today is hearing minutes. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing, which was held on September 11th, 2025. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 11th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to our next agenda item, public hearing continued number 1 on a petition by NStar Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, for a granted location to install an electric transformer vault and associated infrastructure within Whitby Street, Public Way, East Boston, located at address number 16, generally northwest of Ford Street. It was new business on August 14th and had public hearings on August 28th and September 11th. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan of Transformer MH4PIC, 16 Whitby Street, East Boston, one sheet dated August 2025. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know how you intend to proceed today.
Hi, good morning. It's Katie Flaherty from Eversource Electric. Just wanted to give you an update. We're still talking between Chong and our legal department on the documents that you had requested, and the MILA plans that we have to submit still do need some additional corrections. So we are going to ask this morning for another continuance, but we are actively working on the documents that you are asking us to submit.
All right, well, appreciate that work. Katie, is 2 weeks appropriate?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to continue, public hearing continued number 1 until October 9th?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing continued item number 1 is read into the record by the chair till October 9th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. We'll see you back here then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. On to our next agenda item, public hearing continued number 2 on a petition by LHCD Sprague Owner LLC for the making of specific repairs within Sprague Street, Public Way, Hyde Park, located on its southeasterly side at address numbers 36 to 40, generally across from Sprague Place, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street lighting infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, and hydrants. New business on August 28th, first public hearing on September 11th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan 36 to 40 Sprague Street, Hyde Park, 2 sheets dated September 23rd, 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliation, and give us an update on the outstanding items from your last hearing?
Thank you. Tim Hayes from Bowler Engineering, a civil engineer on the project. I have with me today Jeff Quinn from the Ownership Applicant Group. 2 updates since our last hearing. One, the MOU was agreed to and signed by all parties, I believe. And we have updated the plans based on some PIC staff comments and disabilities to show the extent of the paving from the MOU agreement in Sprague Street, as well as some minor modifications to one of the curb ramps at the entrance that we've been working with disabilities to make sure it's in compliance. So I think all items that I think that were asked of us, I think have been completed at this point, and open to any questions from the commission.
Thank you very much, and appreciate the work to get that MOU signed and those remaining details buttoned up. Where are you with Mylars and the LMI for this project?
The project attorney is working with Mr. Chung on the LMI, and we will be submitting Mylars after this meeting to Todd if that's appropriate.
All right, excellent. I had no other questions. Commissioners, questions, comments? Hearing none. PIC staff or members of the public?
I will take this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to ask questions or add testimony, please use the raised hand function, which can be found at the reactions tab at the bottom of your screen. I do not have any comments at this time, and I'm not seeing any raised hands, so I think we're all set.
All right, wonderful. Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by LHCD Sprague Owner LLC for the making of specific repairs within Sprague Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to the public hearing section of our agenda, starting with public hearing number 1 on a joint petition by GUGV 2212 Stewart Property Owning LLC and the Boston Redevelopment Authority, DBA, the City of Boston Planning Department, for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within segments of Stewart Street, Public Way, Boston proper, located on its southerly side at address number 212 east of Church Street. This was new business on August 14th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan, Stewart Street, 212 Stewart Street, Boston proper, one sheet dated July 9th, 2025, revised August 29th, 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us any updates since your new business hearing?
Good morning, this is John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. There have been no updates since new business. This is really a housekeeping exercise. This project was permitted through the Public Improvement Commission in 2019 and constructed with completion in 2022. Post-construction surveys had identified a couple areas that the building had had grown outside of the discontinuances and takings that were approved back in 2019. So there has been an appraisal report that's been submitted and accepted by the city. And these discontinuances have upset limits, basically from the sidewalk to the limit that is required. The application, the one before you, the discontinuance would start at the sidewalk and extend about 42 feet up, which is about 4 stories. The total square footage is about 43 square feet, and it runs along the front of the building here. At new business, there was a question about the clearances of the sidewalks, and the clearance on the sidewalks is still in excess of 8 feet. And I had reviewed this with Sarah post the new business hearing. I'm open to any questions.
All right, commissioners. Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
John, could you just, for the record, mention the difference between this action and the next action as far as the fee interest in the right-of-way?
I'll defer to Gregory on that because I'm not totally clear on those differences between the two actions.
Good morning, Greg Sampson with Sullivan & Worcester. There was a portion of the Stewart Street where the fee interest was with the City of Boston. The Boston Planning Department approved the taking for that interest last week. So the public hearing 1 addresses the portion of the discontinuance that was subject to the taking. We'll talk public hearing 2 will address the remaining portion as well as a portion of discontinuance on Shawn Street.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, hearing no other comments or questions, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
Make a motion to approve a joint petition by GUGV 2212 Stewart Property Owner LLC and the Boston Redevelopment Authority, DBA, the City of Boston Planning Department for a discontinuance in Stewart Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 2 on a set of petitions by GUGV2 212 Stewart Property Owning LLC for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within segments of the following public ways in Boston proper: Stewart Street on its southerly side at address number 212, generally east of Church Street; Shawmut Street on its northerly side, generally between Church Street and Coconut Grove Lane. New business on August 14th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan, Stewart Street, Shawmut Street, 212 Stewart Street, Boston proper, 2 sheets dated July 9th, 2025, revised August 29th, 2025. The proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and let us know if there have been any changes to these plans since your new business hearing.
Good morning, John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. There have been no changes since new business. This is the section along Stewart Street that it's about 21 feet long, consists of 13 square feet, and it's only about 4 stories high, and that's the upset limit for the discontinuance. And we're maintaining the appropriate sidewalk that's greater than 8 feet.
All right. Wonderful. Commissioners, question? Oh.
Excuse me, Mr. Commissioner. John, can you also just flash the Shawmut Street side as part of the same public hearing?
Okay. Thank you. Along Shawmut Street in this section right here, we have similar situation. This is only 3 square feet, but it extends 19 stories, and we maintain a 5.4 sidewalk width, 5.4 feet sidewalk width. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for catching that. Commissioners, questions, comments? EIC staff or members of the public?
Also, we'll just mention that these Mylars for this section and the previous one will be updated to reflect those vertical limits that John mentioned.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by GUGV2 212 Stewart Property Owner LLC for discontinuance in Stewart Street and Shawmut Street as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to our third item for this project, public hearing number 3 on a set of petitions by GUGV2 212 Stewart Property Owning LLC for the granting of projection licenses for the installation of balcony railings and a canopy over portions of the sidewalks within the following public ways in Boston proper: Stewart Street on its southerly side at address number 212, generally east of Church Street; Shawmut Street on its northerly side, generally between Church Street and Coconut Grove Lane. This was new business on August 14th, as shown on 2 plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Railing License Plan, Shawmut Street, 212 Stewart Street, Boston proper, 1 sheet dated July 9th, 2025, revised August 29th, 2025, as well as City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Canopy License, Stewart Street, 212 Stewart Street, Public Way, Boston, 1 sheet dated July 9th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know if there have been any changes since your new business hearing.
Good morning, John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. There have been no changes since new business. This is a series of 8 locations along Shawmut Street where the architectural railings project further into the public way than was intended. The projection is 2.4 inches into the public way, and they're all as identified on this drawing.
All right. Commissioners.
And then, I'm sorry, and then the second component?
Second page, yep.
Second component has to do with the canopy on Stewart Street, which in 2019, it was permitted with the commission for 134 square feet. It was constructed at 150 square feet, so we're coming in to just confirm that this is acceptable. We have 13.1 feet of clearance at the building, and it's 14.7 feet of clearance at the further out at the limit of this projection. Any questions?
Commissioners, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on these.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by GUGV2 212 Stewart Property Owning LLC for the granting of projection license in Stewart Street and Shawmut Street as written in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you very much. We
Abstained?
appreciate it. Oh, sorry.
All right. So moved. You are all set. Thank you. Housekeeping
Thank you.
complete. Appreciate you buttoning this up.
Thank you.
All right, on to public hearing number 4 on a set of petitions by Dinosaur Milk LLC for the making of specific repairs within Arch Street Public Way, Boston proper, located on its westerly side at the side of 31 Milk Street, generally between Holly Place and Milk Street, consisting of curb, roadway, sidewalk, and areaway reconstruction. New business from September 11th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan, 31 Milk Street, Boston Public Way, downtown, 3 sheets dated August 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an update on the topics discussed at your new business hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. My name is Scott Oran. I'm manager of Dinosaur Milk LLC. I'm also treasurer of the 31 Milk Street Condominium Association, which is the licensee under an areaway agreement dated October 31st, 2012. I have Ryan Gordon from Niche Engineering here to explain what's been changed since we last saw you. Go ahead, Ryan.
Good morning, Ryan Gordon, Niche Engineering. Since the new business hearing, we have had an update to the extent of the sidewalk repairs along Arch Street, where we previously had about 97 feet. The locations of the Eversource hatches, we have a equipment hatch, a personnel hatch, and a grate in the sidewalk. Those have shifted south along Arch Street, so that's reduced the length to about 67 feet. And then along with that, Scott, do you want me to talk about the other, okay.
Sure.
There was a comment that came up during new business asking about the accessibility for the existing crossings on Milk Street at the intersections of Arch Street and Holly Street. At the intersection of Holly Street and Milk Street, there appears to be a 2-inch lip on the curb that is not a great condition for pedestrians crossing the street. So as part of that, we would be looking to add an asphalt patch in front of this area to reduce that lip, which seems something that we can easily do to improve that accessibility onto the sidewalk. There was also a comment about the structural integrity of the areaways around the building, because they do surround the building on Holly, Milk, and Arch Street. Since then, cores have been performed for the slab of the areaway that have shown that it's in good condition. There's an existing areaway agreement in place from 2012 that requires the owner to maintain the areaways in good condition, and that those cores show that that's the case, and they'll continue to do that as this project progresses. And one other area on the other side of Milk Street and Arch Street. This area at this intersection was recently repaved as part of the Milk Street bike lane project, and this crossing at this intersection appears to have a flush condition. So that's something that we've taken a look at to make sure that if there was any opportunity to improve accessibility there does appear to be a flush condition. Overall, the proponent is willing to work with the city to address any accessibility upgrades that are considered for the future here, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you very much for those updates. On the accessibility front, so I appreciate the additional analysis that was done on the existing areaway and the commitment to make changes to improve accessibility here, understanding that they will not result in sort of fully ADA compliant ramps and sidewalks, but that there are things that can be done to, make this a more traversable area for people who have mobility aids or, otherwise, can't navigate the existing conditions safely. With the areaway, so at some point the city will need to come through to bring these intersections into full ADA compliance and to construct proper ADA compliant ramps to the best of our ability. At that time, we will need, at this point that's not scheduled work, but at that time we will need both, likely reaffirm that the areaways are still structurally stable if that is, several years out from now. And also we'll need some support from the building during the construction process to make sure that any work that we are doing does not interfere with the stability of the areaways, but also if there's waterproofing or other sort of elements that might be disrupted by our construction, we'll need that sort of engineering level coordination. So I understand there is an existing license for the areaways, which likely obligates some of this kind of cooperation, but I am just hoping that the proponents for this project, understanding that there's a condo relationship here, can affirm their intention to be supportive participants in any future reconstruction work to the extent that you are, as a legal entity still, engaged in this, in this project.
We can, yes.
Okay. All right, I appreciate that. And then in terms of the sort of shorter term, smaller, not ADA, but still improved changes that you are proposing to make, my request is that you sit with the Disabilities Commission to affirm that those changes are in fact the sort of what they would recommend, short of producing a fully compliant ramp here, and to see if there are any other similarly low construction or construction light approaches that could be added here. One of the things we've used in a few places in the city are adhesive tactiles that attach to an existing surface but provide some detectability for people using with visual impairments who are navigating the sidewalk. So there may be some other similar things like that. And even just looking at the intended asphalt treatment, want to get their input into that. So would like to have that commitment from you to work with them on any of those kind of smaller term improvements that are outside the scope of what the PIC is formally reviewing today.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, appreciate that. Commissioners, other questions, comments? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
Nope, I think we're all set on this one.
All right. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by Dinosaur Milk LLC for the making of specific repairs within Arch Street, contingent upon the acceptance of the revisions by the Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to our final public hearing on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication infrastructure with city shadow conduit within the following public ways in Dorchester: Bird Street between Columbia Road and Cedar Place / Monadnock Street, Columbia Road at Bird Street, Cedar Place west of Bird Street / Monadnock Street. New business on September 11th as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Verizon, Bird Street at Columbia Road, proposed conduit installation, one sheet dated September 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us any updates on this proposal since you're a new business hearing?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Alexander Leslie Marrero, M-A-R-R-E-R-O. I work with Pike Telecom, an authorized Verizon contractor. I'll be presenting the petition in front of you this morning. There has been no changes since the petition was brought as new business in front of the commission. As a recap, Verizon is hereby petitioning to place one new 4-inch conduit and one new 4-inch city shadow duct from existing manhole number 11/280, located on the intersection of Columbia Road and Bird Street, and running in a westerly direction down Bird Street towards Cedar Place and onto Cedar Place, and terminating at pole 849/1. Verizon is hereby making this petition in order to provide service to a small cell site located on Cedar Place.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, easy enough. Do you hear a motion to approve public hearing number 5?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England, Inc. for a grant of location in Bird Street, Columbia Road, and Cedar Place, as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the public hearing section of our agenda, and we can now move on to new business, starting with new business 1, Pilgrim Road at 334 Riverway, 415 to 435 and 440 Brookline Avenue, Jocelyn Place, Roxbury pedestrian easement, specific repairs, vertical discontinuances on a set of joint petitions by Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center Incorporated, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute Incorporated, and Jocelyn Diabetes Center Incorporated. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through this project?
Thank you and good morning, all commissioners. Thank you for having us this morning. I'm Howard Mosier with VHB in Boston, Massachusetts, Director of Land Engineering here. I'm joined this morning by Jared Dorr, Vice President at Beth Israel Lahey Health, and Michael Hinchcliffe, Principal at Payette, Architect of Record. We're excited to be here and present to you a little overview of the project, the Future Cancer Hospital, as well as the proposed actions we're seeking approval for in a subsequent public hearing. I'm going to turn it over now to Jared Dorr.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, commissioners, for having us this morning. My name is Jared Dorr, as Howard mentioned, and I'm the Vice President of Capital Facilities and Engineering for BILH. I want to start by providing a little background to the project and the reason for it. This is a bold vision for the future of cancer care in the area. In the fall of 2023, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center forged a new collaboration to advance the future of adult cancer care, announced plans to build the region's only freestanding cancer hospital in the area. This collaboration aims to improve access and transform patient care and patient experience as incidents of cancer increase and care models rapidly evolve over the years. Next slide, please. So the reasons why these beds are needed: the number of hospital beds for cancer patients in the region has not increased. The shortage of beds contributes to longer wait times in the emergency departments, which is a big issue. And while our outpatients have expanded over the years for multiple different hospitals, there will be always the need for inpatient care, especially for specialized cases. And with the treatments and the innovation of complex treatments that are being developed every day, these need to be delivered in the inpatient setting, and the need for more cancer beds will only increase. I'm now going to turn it over to Michael to provide a little bit more detail on the building and the location.
Thank you very much, Jared. Good morning. My name is Michael Hinchcliffe. I'm a registered architect of the Commonwealth and the principal in charge of the project for Payette on behalf of both components. The project that Jared just described is vital to increasing the healthcare capacity of Boston, the Commonwealth, and New England. As noticed in 2023, the project was introduced through a joint update of the master plan, institutional master plans for both institutions, reviewed and approved by the Boston Public Design Authority. In June of this year, the project that was the outcome of both of those institutional master plans was also approved. That is a 300-bed hospital dedicated exclusively to cancer care. In this aerial view here, you see the context. It's at a location currently housing the Joslin Diabetes Institute between both campuses, the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center East and West campuses in the Longwood Medical and Academic area, and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute campus just adjacent across Brookline Avenue. The project, as I said, will house 300 beds operated and licensed by Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, dedicated exclusively to cancer care. The building will also house additional departments and functions that will support this freestanding cancer hospital, including patient amenities, kitchens, support areas, diagnostic imaging and treatment spaces, as well as an underground parking facility serving patients and their visitors. The building will be 450,000 square feet with approximately 14 stories above grade and 4 stories below grade for that valet parking garage. There will also be 5,000 square feet of local retail space on Brookline Avenue, maintaining a vibrant local retail that's in place today. On this image, you see in the upper left-hand corner the existing Joslin Diabetes Center that includes both outpatient care as well as research. Now a part of the BILH system, those functions are currently being relocated or have been relocated to other locations on the BIDMC campuses. The footprint of the existing building will be almost replicated by the footprint of the new cancer hospital, including generous setbacks along Brookline Avenue and Joslin Place for increased pedestrian realm and easements. The proposed building that we see in the next image will really seek to include the vision of cancer care and patient-centered cancer care that is at the heart of Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, as well as their partnership with BIDMC. This view is taken at the corner of Brookline Avenue and Deaconess Road, looking to the northwest at the future cancer hospital. You'll see that this bold and striking vision of cancer care is uplifting and a clear and direct benefit to the urban realm, as clearly noted by the BPDA and through its public approvals process. I'll now describe to you a few of the features that we'll be returning to discuss with you in detail around the vertical discontinuances. You'll note at the ground plane that there is a proposed reconfiguration of Joslin Place and Joslin Park at the request of the city for increased pedestrian safety and vehicular circulation. That is a part of the proposed design that we'll return to you that will require additional legislative approvals that the various city agencies are working toward. But in this view, we see that the main entrance is directly in front of us on the reconfigured Joslin Place with a new canopy to protect vehicular movement from patients and their visitors into and out of the hospital as required by the health code. To the right of the image, we see a proposed hospital connector spanning across Brookline Avenue to connect the outpatient functions and other support functions of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute campus across to the future cancer hospital. You'll note that there are various architectural trims and appurtenances that are a part of the architectural expression of the building that do as well cross the property line that we will describe in detail. On the next slide, we see a view of the new project from the corner of Pilgrim Road and Deaconess Road looking to the northeast. Here again, you see additional improvements to the public way and potential reconfigurations of Joslin Park. Joslin Park is a City of Boston park that is maintained by Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. On the left-hand side of the image, you see a second hospital connector that will link the future cancer hospital with the various and critical support departments located within the Beth Israel Deaconess West campus. This new connector will run along Pilgrim Road over the sidewalk, and as well as spanning across Pilgrim Road at an elevated location to connect those the two buildings together. On the next image, let me tell you a little bit more about those key hospital connectors. These are discussed and reviewed at length and in great detail with members of the Boston Civic Design Commission and with BPDA staff for their essential nature and key design in the public realm to link the future cancer hospital with both campuses. Now, a hospital is a complex ecosystem of patient care that requires links to many ancillary departments. While the majority of the functions of the new cancer hospital will be located within the building, the key links to the two campuses will provide absolutely essential care and patient safety. So the first connection that will cross the public way is the Pilgrim Road connector. It will span across Pilgrim Road and connect the inpatient hospital, its diagnostic and treatment units, and a key observation unit that will be used as a transition either from admission into the emergency room to an inpatient bed, which is one of the main ways that unfortunately that cancer patients arrive at a hospital through that emergency room visit. That emergency room is a part of the Beth Israel, will be a part of the Beth Israel Deaconess West campus. This elevated connector will provide a critical link for patients to those advanced imaging modalities, operating rooms, and emergency rooms on the West campus, spanning across Pilgrim Road. The second connector is across Brookline Avenue. That will link key outpatient functions that exist today on the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute campus. Again, unfortunately, many cancer patients in the course of a visit to their doctor will be admitted directly into inpatient care. The connector across Brookline Avenue at the third floor that links to a series of existing hospital connectors that link their campus will allow for a seamless, low-stress, and safe transport of patients from those outpatient visits directly into either the observation unit or, unfortunately, to the hospital beds themselves. This key link of hospital connectors has been carefully considered with patient safety at its base need. Here in these views, we see the proposed connector across Brookline Avenue. The largest view on your right is taken from the proposed reconfiguration of Joslyn Park. You see that this connector is designed to be quite high above the roadway, providing unimpeded views below it, both inbound and outbound on Brookline Avenue, a key thoroughfare in the city, as well as a transparent and light-filled experience that eases wayfinding and patient movement across from the Dana-Farber campus into the new future cancer hospital. You may notice on the image on the left in the lower corner, there are additional canopies and setbacks at grade that provide for that widened pedestrian realm and additional traffic and transportation improvements that are part of the proposed project. On the next image, we see a series of views along Pilgrim Road of the Pilgrim Road connector. Again, this is that critical third story link between the future cancer hospital and the emergency department, surgeries, and other key components of patient care on the BI West campus. This connector is in two parts. The first part in the upper right is a connector that is elevated over Pilgrim Road. You'll notice in that image below that this is also the proposed location of two new curb cuts. One serving the building's loading dock, a second serving the valet parking garage that's dedicated to patients and their visitors. The other three images on this slide show the secondary part of the connector. This part is elevated above the public way, does not cross over the curb line, and provides, again, that patient link at the third floor to the West Campus for patient movement. Within the public realm, though, that does propose several distinct improvements, included coverage seating and a visual extension of Joslyn Park that enhances pedestrian safety and movement along Pilgrim Road for the public benefit. We look very forward to describing the project in its detail to you in future meetings. I'll turn this back over to Howard to describe some of the more specific vertical discontinuances that are part of the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jared. It's hard to follow beautiful architectural renderings with blue and black and white engineering drawings, but Michael did an excellent job of describing the vertical connectors and the elements that do project over the property line. So today, we're presenting three proposed actions, vertical discontinuances. And as a result of the vertical discontinuance on Pilgrim Road, we're going to describe a proposed specific repair and accordingly a pedestrian easement. Working from right to left, Michael described the pedestrian connector that will extend over Brookline Avenue. That's in this location, right here, connecting the new building to the existing Dana-Farber campus. Along Brookline Avenue, there's a series of minor projections. Again, the projects work tirelessly with a lot of city departments to create a beautiful proposed building. There are some architectural elements that have minor projections, similar to what you heard earlier on a different public hearing, minor projections, which we're seeking discontinuance as we wrap around. The large discontinuance you see on Joslin Place is not just an architectural expression, it's a required canopy at a hospital so that patients can get out of a car under cover. On this plan, we are reflecting the existing Joslin Place right-of-ways and highway easements. As Michael described, we are proposing and working with a number of city and state departments on the reconfiguration of this intersection. We plan on presenting that to the commission once all the consensus has been achieved and we have a clear plan to present to the commission, but that will come forth in a future action. Moving again to the left, we do have some minor discontinuances with the architectural elements of the building, but then we get into the Pilgrim Road connector where it crossed diagonally as shown in Michael's renderings. And then we proceed south to where it connects to an existing system of buildings. It's along this stretch of Pilgrim Road where, due to the width of the connector, it would have projected over the roadbed. And we were requested through various departments to modify the curb line so that the bridge was fully behind the curb line. I'll describe that in the vertical and the specific repairs in a bit later. So the second and third sheets of the discontinuance plan describe all the myriad of various discontinuance areas. We've worked closely with Todd and TIC staff to nail these down and get the sections described quickly. But most of the clearances are 18 foot plus. There's one area on the Pilgrim Road connector, which I was just describing, that the minimum clearance is 16 feet. Otherwise, it grows as the topography falls away from that one high point. In each of these discontinuances, we've included a generous buffer on the plan view as well as vertically above the elements, with the exception of this one on Pilgrim Road where we need to adhere to the 16 feet minimum, which provides less tolerance for the design and construction team, and they are aware of that. We've acknowledged it through various departments. Legal descriptions. And then on the specific repair, we are proposing to bump the curb line out. The road is sufficiently wide, create the street side, curbside planters, and move the sidewalk behind the furnishing and planting zone. And as you see here in a slight red strip, that would have pushed the sidewalk to less than the city's desired minimum width in this area. So we are proposing in the red area a pedestrian easement. The project's been circulated and noticed, received a lot of great comments from city agencies and constructive input for which we've responded. And we're happy to be here today. And there's the details and the pedestrian easement. So thank you for the time. That concludes our presentation portion. We're happy to entertain questions. And just for those interested, we also have other members of the design and construction team if we need to go into that area.
Thank you all very much. Really appreciate the thorough presentation and all of the context behind these proposed actions. It is very helpful for us. Commissioners, questions, comments?
I'd like to thank the team for the wonderful presentation. I did have a question on the reciprocal ramps on the Pilgrim Road. So I think it's one page up from this, or 2 pages? Yes, this one. Just wanting to understand the scope of reconstruction for the reciprocal ramps that are planned for a part of this project or other projects, and just kind of clearing the sequence of construction for these ramps.
Thank you, Commissioner. That's a great question. On this plan, we have only addressed the specific repairs on the west side of Pilgrim Avenue. And we have noted that in the absence of any further approvals, which we will be seeking, these would be reconstructed to be accessible in place at these corners. However, we will be proposing, after consensus is built, a series of specific repairs on the eastern side of Pilgrim, going down through Joslin Place and Deaconess Road, up and down Brookline Avenue, that will address any proposed changes to ramps. So for the purpose of this approval, we're just saying we will reconstruct in place, And as further details develop around the urban realm improvements, we'll provide further detail on those ramp orientations.
Okay, so they'll be part of future petitions, namely the ramps at the park.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
That is correct.
Is there any estimate you've done on increase in percentage of vehicle traffic when this project is complete?
Oh my gosh, there was thorough traffic studies done as part of the Article 80 process, Mr. Callahan. Fully studied with BTD and the planning group at BPD as well. You know, this is, given the criticality on cancer treatment, it's, and there's already a lot of care given in the area, it's very hard. You can't just say it's all net new. Some of the care is already being given. It's just in under capacity facilities. So, but we've undergone a thorough review with the city on that. And if you wanted to, we could share some links to those studies.
Howard, Mr. Callahan, it's worth noting that as a part of the traffic studies and agreed for off-site mitigations as a part of the hospital approval, Pilgrim Road, which is a private way to the south or left of Deaconess Road to Francis Street, currently restricted to ambulance traffic to serve the emergency department, will be opened to two-way traffic to ease congestion and improve accessibility and movement through the district as a part and outcome of those traffic studies and reviews with the various city agencies.
Thank you.
Just to follow up briefly on Sarah's question about the reciprocal ramp. So understanding that the intention here is to come back with a kind of new design. The current plans just sort of reference that these ramps will be reconstructed in place, but we would want to make sure if they are not currently compliant and that were to happen, let's say for whatever reason, you know, some future aspects of the project were delayed, we would want to make sure that they were reconstructed in place in an ADA compliant fashion. So we can just affirm that in our plans. That would be great.
We can certainly amend that note. That is the intention as conveyed on the plan and was included at the request of one of the departments. So we're happy to amend that note to reflect that is certainly the intention. And I'm going to be very excited to present the next round of actions that show all the improvements that the proponents will be making in this area. It's going to be transformative.
Yeah, no, it's you can tell from the renderings that a lot of thought and work has gone into what that will look like, and we're looking forward to that getting settled. Can I ask in that vein, though, why the proponents have chosen to come to us with this particular set of actions now? Is there an intention to start work on Pilgrim Road prior to the completion of the rest of the project plans, or why are we sort of reviewing this in pieces?
That's a fair and excellent question. As Michael Hinchcliffe had described, the connectors are just so integral to the success and outcomes associated with this project that those permissions are a crucial element of even state approvals with Public Health Commission, Department of Public Health. Not to diminish the importance, but the urban realm improvements can be worked out and consensus can be built over a time frame. But given the criticality of these connectors and just to adhere to the high architectural standards that the city and the BCDC have looked at for this project, those elements needed to be nailed down early while the team continues in good faith to work on all the rest. And there's some, a lot of construction detailing and landscape architecture, civil engineering, transportation planning. So it was extremely important that these connector discontinuances be accomplished in order to keep the project on its schedule.
Understood, and we're familiar with that. Sometimes the sort of ordering of different regulatory processes requires us to go first in order to unlock something else, another sequence in the process. So I'm happy to support that. I think the only kind of thing I just want to make sure we have a plan for is a scenario in which, for whatever reason, this project does not advance as intended, or the rest of the process that's still ongoing results in significant design changes that affect these discontinuances and other actions. I just want to make sure that we are that there's clarity about how that would play out. We don't want to have empty vertical discontinuances hanging out in the city, in perpetuity if there's no structure there or no obvious reason for them to continue to be there. So my ask is that you, if that has not already been discussed, and it may very well have been, that you work with Todd and Chong over the next 2 weeks to sort of figure out how that will be dealt with in that unlikely contingency event.
Yeah, and we can certainly report on that at the public hearing.
That would be great. Commissioners, other questions, comments? All right, hearing none. TIC staff or members of the public? Oh, actually, I'm sorry, before I move on, I did have one other thing I just wanted to confirm. So on Pilgrim Road, where the connector sits above the sidewalk, you'll be removing several city streetlights, or at least one city streetlight. I wanted to confirm, I think I saw one of the renderings with a nighttime view that showed illumination of that sidewalk on the underside of the structure that's overhanging the sidewalk. I just wanted to confirm that the proponents will be providing lighting for that sidewalk area, and that you will have incorporated in your LMI responsibilities for maintaining adequate and safe lighting levels.
Fair summary, and to further the discussion, we have consulted numerous times with the street lighting department about existing and future streetlights in this area, and we will continue to do so, and thank you. We'll make sure that's in the LMI.
Okay, excellent. All right, PIC staff, members of the public?
I don't see any raised hands right now. Howard, would you mind just touching on the appraisal?
I just want to report for the record that the appraisal that was generated based on the discontinuances that you've seen to date, that was shared with PIC staff earlier today. So that's available for review by staff and the city.
Yep, confirmed on that. Thanks, Howard.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, hearing no other comments or questions, will you guys be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on October 9th?
We will, thank you.
Wonderful. All right, thank you so much. We will see you back here in a couple weeks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to our next agenda item, new business 2, 4200 Washington Street, Basile Street, West Roxbury, pedestrian easement, specific repairs on a set of petitions by 4200 Washington LLC. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through the proposed actions here?
Thank you. Again, Tim Hayes from Bowler Engineering. Civil engineer on the project. I'm joined today by Janae Hole from the owner applicant group 4200 Washington LLC. I will go through a brief overview of the project and a couple actions that we have in front of you. The site is located at the corner of Washington Street and Basile Street in West Roxbury. It fills the entire block there. Today is an existing building that will be demolished. For a 5-story mixed-use building that will have some ground floor retail, potential restaurants, as well as community theater. And then above that is 31 affordable residential units. And in front of you today, we have 2 actions, which are specific repairs on both Washington Street and Basile Street, as well as associated pedestrian easements, as shown in red here, on both streets as well, Washington Street and Basile Street. As far as the streetscape itself, we have worked with the various departments to incorporate the existing street trees on Washington Street, as well as expand a permeable unit paver band in front of the sidewalk here. Beyond that, on this private site, we have kind of a set of courtyard and deck for access to the restaurant and retail spaces. And then kind of turning the corner, we have new concrete sidewalks, curbing, and a larger pedestrian area where the building steps back to accommodate a small curb cut for a couple parking spaces, tandem service parking inside the building. It's a 10-foot wide curb cut, very, very minimal. I know we've been working with disabilities. We're going to be looking at reconstructing the reciprocal ramps on both the corner of Basil and Washington, as well as the ramp across on South Street, which appear to be not quite meeting PROAG standards. So we're working with Sarah on that. And in addition, we've been working with lighting one, there's a light pole that was actually knocked down in a recent accident over the last year. That lighting is going to replace in kind, and then we're going to add a new light pole around the corner with new conduits from the handhole on Washington Street, new handhole, new light pole, new base, and stubbing out conduits in 2 directions of directional lighting in order to provide future connections for those folks. Yeah, I guess any other, I guess I should explain there's some bike parking out on Washington Street within the furnishing zone here that has been designed in accordance with the city's bike parking standards and dimensions. So we have enough space for, a full with concrete sidewalk behind that and the ability for pedestrians to navigate around the corner. Open to any questions or comments from the commission.
Commissioners, questions, comments?
I want to thank the project team for the presentation and the willingness to work with both myself and Dolores on some of the ramps. It was flagged that there is a pinch point of 4 feet 7 inches at the new light pole, or 4 feet 8 inches. I'm wondering if there's any wiggle room to get that those few additional inches just to ensure that a 5-foot path of travel is provided along the building side.
We can take a look at it. I know through the BPA process, this building was kind of, it's set between the property lines here. It's on a 0 lot line. So I don't know if that's something that we can get a couple inches or not. I'll have to explore that with the project team. We did try to maximize as much as we could by, minimum distance, per the light poles. That's set per the lighting's requirements.
Yeah, whatever we can do to get a few more inches there, just so it meets our standards, would be appreciated, whether or not it comes from the building or the pole side.
Commissioners, other questions? So first of all, I'll just say I appreciate you working so closely with street lighting to improve the both the lighting around the project site and also to sort of, while you're reconstructing sidewalks, to put in place some infrastructure that may have future value along the street. One non-lighting related question, so just on the Washington Street sidewalk frontage and the furnishing zone. So you mentioned unit pavers. I'm seeing in the plan set that this is a resin-bound paving that will be in the furnishing zone between the tree pits. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that label might be in the wrong place. But the resin-bound paving is within the tree pits. We've been talking to the various departments on that component, and then the permeable pavers should be here. I think we have a bad call out there potentially.
Okay. So the spacing in between will be in between the pits will be the permeable pavers, and the resin will be used just for the tree pits themselves.
Yeah. Then thanks for pointing that out. We'll clean that up on the drawing. Okay. I think it's just a bad call out.
Got it. Perfect. Appreciate that. All right. Well, that then answers the question I was going to ask. So. All right, that's all that I had. TIC staff or members of the public?
I will mention that the project has been in touch with the Rosendale Business Group, and they're expected to coordinate construction schedules, et cetera, with Dennis Kirkpatrick.
Excellent. All right, hearing, going once, going twice. All right, hearing no other questions, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on October 9th?
Yes, thank you.
All right, we'll see you back here then. Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, on to our next agenda item, new business 363 East Street, Bolton Street, South Boston, pedestrian easement, specific repairs, and a set of petitions by 363 East Street LLC. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and the actions you're proposing and as part of this project?
Hi, I'm Brian Tim with RJ O'Connell and Associates. We're the site civil engineer and land surveying firm for this project, working for the owners 363E LLC. I believe they are on here. Dave Winnick and Shane Losey. Not sure if they
We're present. Yep, we're present. I can get questions that I might be able to answer. So, but the development team here, thank you guys for being able to hear us.
Wonderful. Share my screen here. This is the plan that we're proposing. There was a demolition of an existing building that's on the corner of Bolton and East Streets, and we're going to propose to build a 4-story, 4-unit residential building, which will have interior parking spaces, 8 of them in an inside garage, accessed off of Bolton Street, which is a one-way street. Bolton Street currently is a very narrow street in South Boston, measuring 20 feet wide, with significantly less pavement width, 13 feet wide, and a very, very narrow sidewalk. As part of this proposal, we are proposing to close a 30-foot wide existing curb cut on Bolton Street and replacing it with a 12.5-foot wide curb cut to access the new garage. And we will be increasing the sidewalk from, I think it's currently maybe 3-4 feet wide at the most. We're going to be providing a 6-foot, I believe, 5.5-foot wide sidewalk along Bolton Street. In addition, along East Street, we will be adding a new tree well to the front of the frontage, and we will be expanding that sidewalk to be 5 feet wide from the back of the existing tree well to the back of the existing new sidewalk in front of the building. As part of the process, we will also be improving the ADA access at the crosswalk at the intersection of Bolton and East Streets with a new ADA compliant ramp, detectable warning strip, so that pedestrians can safely cross Bolton Street. We have circulated the application to the various municipal departments, utility providers, received some comments from different municipal departments and have addressed those to the best of our ability at this time. Other than that, I think I covered most of the application. I'll turn it over to anybody for questions.
Yeah, commissioners, questions?
I want to thank the team for their presentation and want to confirm with them as well that they've been in touch with Dolores Carbono regarding the reciprocal ramps and whether or not those will require reconstruction.
We have been in touch with Dolores through the process. She just sent an email earlier this week saying she's going to review the latest plans, that we addressed her comments correctly. When you say reciprocal ramps, are you talking about across the street on Bolton Street?
That's correct.
We will work with her as best as we possibly can to bring that into compliance to the best of our ability. I mean, obviously we don't own the property, you know, on the other side you can see as I zoom in a little closer here, the right of way is very close to the back of the existing curb. And I believe there was a new building that was just constructed on that corner recently that is almost zero lot line, believe it or not, in South Boston. So, we have limited opportunity to try to improve that other side. is what I'm pointing.
No, I appreciate your willingness to work with her and our team, but I did want to state for the record that once a curb ramp is reconstructed, it is required that the reciprocal ramp be reconstructed, but understanding the constraints, I'm sure you'll be able to work with her team to ensure that we can get the best possible situation.
Yes, we'll do the best we can to improve the situation to the site limitations that are available.
Great, thank you so much.
Can I ask that when you come back in 2 weeks that you provide us an update on what you think will be feasible here? Would like to kind of button up the answer to that question as part of this process. Okay, excellent.
As long as, I mean, I'll jump right on it today and tomorrow.
Okay, excellent. Understanding that there's a couple of drainage structures very close to this crosswalk, actually possibly in the crosswalk in one case, one potential thing to explore is the idea of a raised crossing here and whether that could be helpful in so solving for some of the ramp issues. Also, I know that Bolton Street is already a narrow street, but to the extent that there is a minor curb extension or something that could support a compliant ramp, looking at that as well. But we'll leave that to you all to have that conversation and explore the options.
Without a doubt, and you don't see it on here, the detail, but Bolton Street is beyond flat. So we want to be very cognizant of that, putting a raised, I have looked at that and thought of that option as well. Creating a raised crosswalk, while it improves the safety of pedestrians, could also act as a dam as such on an extremely flat roadway. And I want to make sure that we wouldn't create an unsafe situation in that case as well. So.
Fair enough, fair enough. You do have drainage structures on both sides of the crosswalk, which is,
correct.
Yes, becomes a little too close for comfort.
Agreed.
So, all right, well, please report back on that when you have a chance to dig in. Commissioners, other questions, comments? All right, I have one. So can you explain the proposed resin-bound sidewalk along East Street and what is the story there?
That is in response to a comment provided by, I believe it was the planning department. They wanted, because there's an existing tree that is in that existing tree well with a lot of root systems, it's already pushing up through the existing cement concrete sidewalk. Their suggestion was to make the entire sidewalk out of resin-bound aggregate sidewalk. To help the health of that tree as well as other trees in the future. That was direct, that change, the notation was directly from the comment.
Okay. All right, I think if we can look into that one a little bit more and just make sure there's, and I will, before I say this, acknowledge that the city doesn't always do the best job of coordinating all of our sides of these equations, but I just want to make sure that there is, in fact, consensus within the different city agencies that is, in fact, the best solution here. We do have precedent for doing resin-bound tree well protection that extends across the sidewalk in the area in front of the tree well. But it is atypical to have, I'm not aware of instances where we have an entire run of sidewalk done in resin bound in this kind of fashion. And there are other, there's sometimes other elements of other options for how to approach these kinds of situations. So I think the concern here being, a maintenance concern around having a large resin-bound sidewalk that's not a thing that Public Works typically would install, and therefore is not a thing we typically maintain. And we can fold it into the building's LMI, but that then becomes this sort of very non-standard complexity that somebody's going to have to deal with in the future. So I think if we can, I'm going to ask Todd if you can connect the proponent with OGI and the right folks from our construction management team to just talk through the right approaches here, and hopefully we'll find a clear path forward that everyone has consensus around.
Certainly.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Again, I think we initially proposed just a swath like you described, and then it was a second round of comments that asked for the entire frontage, except for the.
Where did that request come from again?
I'm trying to go through my emails right now. I shut my email off so I didn't get bothered during the presentation. But I can forward that along, or if you just give me 2 minutes, I can probably find that.
Yeah, Brian, you and I can talk offline after the hearing. Figure out where that might have originated from, and then we can have a conversation with the relevant folks to figure out what the best option is here.
Wonderful.
We are working on establishing clearer guidelines with broad consensus across all the different city departments about how to handle complex tree sidewalk accessibility situations. So we own the lack of clarity on what to do in a moment like this, but this one caught my eye. So let's handle this as a one-off, and hopefully in future projects we'll be able to offer straightforward guidance for folks to follow.
Sounds wonderful.
We appreciate the acknowledgement. That's something that we rarely ever hear on the development side from the city. So thank you for saying that. I mean, we're trying to get a permit right now. We have a foundation permit, and basically the project is at a standstill because this is the PIC is the last outstanding item for this. So we're trying to expedite this. Hopefully, whoever requested it was the planning department requested that. They will work with us, or will work with us on trying to come up with a quick, resolution so that we can, in reasonable resolutions, we can move forward. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I will do everything that I can to make sure if this doesn't get to a quick resolution that we are bringing everyone into the table to get you an answer, in an expeditious fashion. And Todd, please, if there is any issues in coordinating this conversation, let me know, and I'm happy to go knock on some doors and make sure people come to the table to sort this out, so we're not overly delaying the project on it.
Love tattletelling. Absolutely.
All right.
And I actually found the email, just so everybody's aware. It came from the planning department, and they asked for request the resin-bound aggregates color match with concrete sidewalk given the presence of a second public street tree. Planning recommends a single continuous deployment of the resin-bound aggregate for the full length of the East Street sidewalk with the exception of where the curb ramp occurs. So that's where that, and maybe the misinterpretation, but.
Who in the planning department, just so we can coordinate back with them, right? So that we're going back to, is it?
John Stewart Fishbeck.
Yep, got it.
And I can forward that along if I need to, Amy.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Thank you for working through that one with us. I don't think I had any other questions. Anything else from the commission? All right, PIC staff or members of the public?
No, I'll try to convene a meeting early next week with the project team and planning to work through this.
All right, and we can make sure we pull in the relevant public street side folks in as well.
Certainly.
All right, thank you very much. So will you guys be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on October 9th?
Without a doubt.
All right, we will see you back here then. Thank you so much.
Looking forward to it. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Take care. Okay, and now on to, I believe, our final item of business. 1615 is new business 4, 1615 to 1617, Tremont Street, Wigglesworth Street, Roxbury, specific repairs, earth retention license on a set of petitions by Lubavitch of Cambridge Incorporated. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and talk us through what is being proposed and the details of the actions?
Yes, thank you to the commissioners, and good morning. My name is Jesse Aguilar. I'm senior project engineer at High Point Engineering, the site civil engineer for this project, joined by my in-office colleague, Joe Pesha. Next slide, Joe. And other members of our project team, representing the owner's project management company, Sydney Project Management, are Joshua Sidney and Adi Toledano. Brian Apito of Bruner Cott, the project architect. Curtis Puncher of Ground Landscape, the landscape architect. And Haley Aldrich is the geotechnical engineer, but is not present on the meeting. Next slide, please. So to contextualize the site, it comprises 2 lots at 1615 and 1617 Tremont Street, at the corner of Tremont Street and Wigglesworth Street. 1615 Tremont, the lot on the east side of the subject property, has a 3-story, 2-unit multifamily residential building. And 1617, which is directly on the corner of Tremont and Wigglesworth, has a vacant former American Legion post building. So looking at the street view of the site, we are looking north up Wigglesworth Street from the intersection of Tremont and Wigglesworth. There are
sorry, just to interrupt. If you're showing something, all we are seeing right now is the slide deck. So we're not seeing your map or your street view.
Okay,
see the street view? Okay.
No, we're seeing the opening slide. I think you may be presenting on a different screen than the one that's being shared. We're just seeing the kind of edit view of PowerPoint.
I would now hear.
There we go. Got it.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
No worries.
So continuing on.
And actually, if you don't mind just quickly jumping back to the prior slide, just so we have that visual that you were trying to show the map. There we go.
Certainly.
All right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so 1615 and 1617 are represented by the red outline in the middle of the screen at the intersection of Tremont and Wigglesworth. Next slide, Joe. So back to the street view. Can you confirm that you can see the street view?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, yeah, so we are looking north up Wigglesworth Street. You see that there is curbside parking on Tremont as well as Wigglesworth Street. In non-summer seasons, there is street side parking along the southerly side of Wigglesworth, where you see the temporary outdoor seating there. The crosswalk off the southwest corner of the building, was reconstructed a couple of years ago. We confirmed in the field that the curb ramp on the west side of the Wigglesworth crossing does comply with ADA dimensional running and cross slope requirements. So we're not proposing to modify that. We are, among other things, in the specific repairs, going to be reconfiguring the curb ramp on the site side, call it, of that intersection. Next slide, Joe. So in terms of specific repairs, we're doing a number of things, installing new vertical granite curb along the entirety of the frontage for this new building, which is a 4-story Jewish community center. we are shifting the curb cut at the shared alley on the north side of the proposed building to align with the new building corner and the existing vertical granite curb to the north of that curb cut, reconstructing the sidewalks with poured-in-place reinforced concrete, replacing 3 street trees in kind with new trees with resin-bound aggregate at grade, and also in coordination with the street lighting division are proposing new light poles and hand poles with connections in Tremont Street to feed those light power supply lines. Like I explained, reconstructing the curb ramp off the southwest corner of the building at the crosswalk to either side of Wigglesworth, and all building utility and drainage connections are going to be via Wigglesworth Street. We are doing some trenching to discontinue some utility connections for the existing vacant American Legion building and Tremont Street, but not proposing anything new other than the street light power supply duct banks or conduits. Next slide, Joe. So this is a view of the non-annotated view of the landscape plan. Direct your attention to the 3 street trees with the resin-bound aggregate at surface at the tree pits. Next slide. And to support the supportive excavation for the new building, which will include a full basement below grade, as well as a mikveh bath, which is deeper off at the northeast corner of the site. There's going to be a soldier pile and lagging support, which will be about 18 inches in thickness, set 3 inches off of the property line along the south side, west side, north and northeast sides of the proposed building. After construction of the foundation, the lagging will be left in place, I believe a minimum of 6 feet below grade. And if there are any questions regarding the particulars of the supportive excavation, we can do our best to answer those here, considering that Haley and Aldrich is not present. But that essentially concludes the specific repairs and the earth retention license matters associated with this project. So I, on behalf of the project team, gladly open it up to the commissioners for comments or questions.
Thank you very much. Commissioners.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I did have 2 points of clarification. For the reciprocal ramp on Wigglesworth, we'd ask you to annotate that on the plan if that reciprocal ramp is indeed compliant, and then additionally placing dimensions on the path of travel on Tremont Street, so that would be the property line to whatever obstruction there is on the street side of the sidewalk, and then as well as Wigglesworth, so that would be building face to tree pit. Just confirming that there's a minimum 5-foot path of travel in concrete demonstrated there. Just putting those dimensions on the plan.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we can do that.
Commissioners, other questions? A couple from me. Anyone hearing nothing from anyone else? So on Tremont Street, I lost the sheet that I was looking at. Looking at C200. There is it references it looks like, is that a lawn in the front of the building along Tremont Street?
That is a turf lawn that will overlie the basement roof slab. So there's going to be, this is essentially a zero setback construction with the building foundation. The basement consumes the entirety of the subject property. So there will be turf on the private property side above the slab, which will be under drain.
Got it. Okay. And the plans reference a swing gate. I don't think we have the landscape plan that maybe details that, but just confirming that that is a internal that will swing into the building and not be possible to obstruct the right of way.
It's actually set back into the site, so it swings. You can see it. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Can't, but it's top right on this plan. So it's.
Oh, I see. It's around the corner. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I see. It's the arrows refer to the fence and the swing gate together, so it wasn't quite clear to me. But now I'm understanding that. I see how that works. Okay. So, but just to confirm that with that setback, the width of the gate will not allow it to swing into the public right of way. Correct?
That's correct. It will not.
Okay. Can we just make sure that that is noted on the plans? We just want to make sure there's not potential for obstruction of that path of travel.
Yes, absolutely. Happy to do that.
All right, that sounds good. And then second question, the sidewalk on Wigglesworth Street. So Wigglesworth is currently almost exclusively brick, not in great condition, and we certainly are supportive of creating a minimum 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk. However, my question is whether the furnishing zone could be done using permeable pavers that match the color of the and some of the character of the brick elsewhere on the street to create a continuous streetscape, and also to help the trees, which have not fared well in their current situation, to get more water from that permeable surface.
Yes, we can coordinate with ground on what that configuration will look like, and we should be able to have that ready in time for the public hearing in 2 weeks.
That would be great. We have standard details for concrete sidewalk next to permeable pavers. That should be the probably starting point for that, but hopefully we can make that work.
Sure.
Good morning. This is Joshua City representing the proponent. I just had one question about that. Is that along Tremont and Wigglesworth, or just Wigglesworth, that request?
The request was just along Wigglesworth because of the existing brick along the rest of the street. It's just sort of trying to create a nice visual where there's some continuous brick strip that then opens up into the remaining street with its brick sidewalks, and then also to support the trees there. And there is not brick or trees on Tremont Street, so no need to change what you're doing there.
Okay. I had a second question, if that's okay.
Of course.
To comply with the sizing of the tree planters determined by the city, if that dictates a less than 5-foot dimension to the face of building from tree planter, what do we do?
Sarah, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. So presumably you do have 5 feet from the tree pit to the building. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. We have to confirm that.
No, we do not.
Yeah, we have 3.8 feet from the building to the resin-bound aggregate that we're proposing in the tree pits.
Okay. So you're using the resin-bound aggregate as a path of travel. Is that
That is the intent. That is the intent,
gotcha.
yes, with consideration
All right.
to the, to the tree pit dimensional requirements of the city.
Gotcha. So I would confirm with OGI, which is Office of Green Infrastructure, but having a paver strip that kind of meets that 5-foot dimension from back of sidewalk, ensuring that there's a 5-foot path to travel between the brick paver strip and the building would be acceptable to provide for that permeability. So as long as you have that 5-foot path of travel rendered in concrete, anything outward of that can be the paver strip. Does that make sense? I'm also happy to hop on a call if that's easier as well.
No, I believe it makes sense. We'll coordinate with the project team in terms of what exactly it looks like on plan, but we'll reach out to the city with any coordination needs or questions before we memorialize it.
Great. We're also happy to review any sketches prior to 2 weeks from now as well.
Great, thank you.
And just for emphasis, so our priority here is the accessibility of this sidewalk. So if we find that it's not possible to do a paver strip because of those dimensional needs, then we can certainly let that go. But it would be if we can achieve that 5-foot accessible concrete / resin-bound aggregate path of travel and also have a reasonably sized paver strip, that would be our preference.
Okay. We understand.
All right. Commissioners, any more questions, comments?
I'd say on your plans also, right, like, can you make it obvious where the streetlights are and the dimensions between the trees and the lights?
Certainly. I was thinking about that as I was talking about it.
And one final note for the proponents, I think I appreciate you doing the bulk of your trenching on Wigglesworth rather than our recently repaved Tremont Street, but it does look like there's going to be some trenching there. That is a guaranteed street because of the recent repaving, so there will likely be higher fees for restoration associated with the cap work that you're going to do there. But appreciate you making the effort to keep it off that street as much as possible. All right, PIC staff, members of the public?
PIC staff has a number of other comments on these current plans and will coordinate those updates with the project team and look to have the plans perfect in 2 weeks for their public hearing.
Awesome. All right, so just confirming the proponents will be ready for their public hearing on October 9th?
Yes, we will.
We will see you back here then. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. And with that, we have reached the end of our agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.